they've just dropped the pretense that they have a social media team writing for them. I mean, I feel like if you believe that, you're probably kind of fucking retarded in the first place, but here we go. Anna here, just a couple life updates. I'm planning on separating my journalism and VTubing work a bit more distinctly in the future. Don't expect a visual design change or an end to info/educational content. I simply want to have my VTubing work a separate brand from my writing. I haven't stated this officially, but I'm more or less ending my focus on investigative work or hard-hitting reporting. I don't think Anna knows what investigative work or hard-hitting reporting is. Because, like, if Anna knew what investigative reporting was, their articles wouldn't have been libelous because they would have investigated and found out that, oh, I might hate this Fox woman because they have a different opinion from me, but they're not actually a white supremacist Nazi. That's crazy that they think they knew how to do investigative journalism. That's the most insane thing I've seen this person state. Hard-hitting reporting? Hard-hitting with what, a squeaky hammer? Copy-pasting Reddit posts is investigation. God damn. If this is what's considered investigative work for normies, I truly am the Illuminati of the VTuber sphere. Holy shit. I have built the Underground Railroad. I have informants literally everywhere. I am the George Soros of VTubing. Team False Light Deceivers. Kirsche Tubman. What the hell kind of educational stream have they ever done? They do sex education. Wow, real shocker. Basically a competency crisis at its best. My interest as a journalist from this point forward is to do media criticism and soft news. You can expect a lighter tone in that regard as I continue to write at Waypoint. Can I just say that it's crazy that they had 2 libelous articles pulled? One libelous article pulled in support of them, continued to write about the situation, made an article basically self-filleting themselves about how they got into, like, the Google trending, and they still have retained their job. If this isn't the pinnacle of privilege, I don't know what is. The fact that you can fuck up to this degree, almost get your bosses in a fucking lawsuit, and still keep your job? If Anna was a woman, I would insinuate they were sucking dick to keep their job, but we all know this is just an identity shield. I don't have an appetite for investigative reporting in today's environment. You didn't have an appetite for investigative reporting, period. You don't know what it means to investigate. You don't understand that word. Oh my god, unless it's like investigating some sort of like weird pornographic fetish, I guess. Like, I don't know, man. I'm increasingly drawn to softer writings, and I want to work on my VTubing career in peace. Or failing that, relative peace. I'm getting older and need a break from the stress of it all. The stress of writing libelous articles and creating a hate mob to try and ruin a real woman's life to the point that I've had to leave my apartment, my place of dwelling, and go to a bunker in the middle of nowhere. That kind of stress, wow. It would be interesting if this person had to face any kind of fucking hardship in their entire fucking lives, instead of people handling them with kid gloves because they claim to be trans. The stress of being told no and not getting away with it, that's the most womanly thing they've done, unironically. Yeah, imagine, you could have avoided all of this stress if you didn't just baselessly attack people for some weird ideological crusade. But once again, my quote about trans activists seems to be incredibly true every single time. I'm still interested in doing not safe for work content coverage, but this will not be at Waypoint. That's right, they were already told to stop doing lewd content at Vice. I'm looking into other avenues. It will be slow and a bit. I'm sorry. I want to do this work, but the opportunities in today's environment are very slim. Let me translate this for you. I want to write about my fetishes on a massive platform, but people are getting fed up with having others' fetishes pushed on them non-consensually. So I need to figure out a way to do this where people won't notice quite as much what I'm doing. In other words, Anal Violence got caught lying about the VTubing news, and Vice is putting them on the journalist equivalent of writing columns in a newspaper. You will write actual news or you will get fired. I don't know if Anna's capable of writing actual news. As to the original question, my reporting asked, can VTubing change? And my answer now is no. It's also not a fight, or it's also a fight I no longer have any interest in being a part of. I want to create in peace, which is why I'm not actively posting and responding to stuff on here. You could have literally kept doing that before. This entire situation is of your own making, you fucking retard. Holy shit. No, and also fuck off forever. Fuck off, we're full. Hobby gate kept. They continue. They continue. At this point, all I want to do is write about Hololive Night, or why Stellar Blade is going to be popular, or cool VTuber resources. Now, I haven't played Stellar Blade yet because it was a PlayStation only kind of game, and I don't know if it's already come to PC or if it's still coming to PC. I don't fucking remember. All right, I yap too much to play games consistently, though Stellar Blade looks fun as fuck. It's coming tomorrow? Okay, thank you. But what the fuck do they mean that Stellar Blade is going to be popular or cool VTuber resources? What do they mean by that? Stellar Blade demo is heavily modded? I was like, I guess you could put a VTuber into the game if you had a 3D model, but like, how is that VTuber resources? And Kirsche got noticed by Eggy Man, new sponsors, approaching 100K on YouTube, left the mold zone surrounded by milkshake-making himbos. More range days than ever. Has Anna unironically been a net positive in your life overall? I feel like I owe a lot of my success to the people who wanted to see me broke and dead and raped. Like, they tried to ruin my life, and if this was 10 years ago, I feel like they would have succeeded. But thankfully, we are in a time where people are fed up with their cry bully tactics and they're lying. So, I mean, thank you to my marketing team. I know I don't pay you, but you don't deserve it. And that's really it. I know which way the wind blows and I want to have some peace. I like how they've mentioned peace like 3 or 4 times now. And it's like, you could have just kept creating in peace. But you thought crusading against someone that has, like, milquetoast conservative opinions would rile up an angry mob, ruin my life, and then put you up on a pedestal as, like, the de facto VTuber reporter. I don't know if you know what year it is, baby, but that shit ain't flying no more. And it continues, I still want to use Waypoint as an opportunity to highlight games and creators that often go unseen, but always in that uplifting direction, sunsetting, direct criticism. I don't know if they're capable of doing that. I feel like they'll be able to hold to this for like maybe a week or 2, and then they'll just go back to their normal ways. Is she one head's correct? They complain when anime women are too sexy or look like children. Yeah, there have been some people that say I look like a children, and I'm like, what fucking children are you looking at? What's wrong with you? Punch someone because I didn't like their shirt and then they hit back. I just want peace. I'm a peaceful person who would never punch someone for not liking their shirt. Motherfucker, you get what you fucking deserve. Don't hit, there won't be no shit. It's advanced retardation. Anna says, I've been hiding my feelings on this matter since mid-May. Brother, your article dropped when I went on fucking vacation. You timed the release of your first hit piece on myself and my sponsor to when I fucking left and wouldn't be able to defend myself. You absolute piece of shit. It's partly why I've been offline. Your feelings on this whole situation is partly why you've been offline. I legitimately cannot understand this. I can't understand this. Like, this mentality where, like, my life has been completely fucking uprooted. I've had to do so much shit behind the scenes. And this person, like, willingly lied to everyone and said they had a social media team. Like, I don't believe you had a fucking social media team while you're begging for money and throwing gifts. Like, there ain't no way. I don't think the bad parts of ENVTubing can be changed. You are the bad part of ENVTubing. You. I might talk politics, but I stay in my fucking lane. I don't bring it out where people don't want it. So it's like, it's kind of quarantined if you think about it. You tried to do a political crusade across all of VTubing, and you wrapped up some fucking idiots in your crusade who torched their own career on your behalf. And now, after people have torched their own career on your behalf, you get to slink away like a slimy little snack and pretend nothing even happened. I don't know how these people sleep at night. I'm gonna be real with you. I think we're locked into where the community is. All we can really do is just create our own little communities that represent what we want. If only you had that opinion before you put out libelous hit pieces, you piece of shit. Cause that's what VTubing is. There's no overarching VTuber community. All these mentally ill people are just like, Kirsche is so upset that you'll never have the support of the wider VTuber community. Kirsche just wants to be accepted. When the fuck? When the fuck have I ever wanted that? Like, yeah, if there's people I like, sure, I'd feel bad if they specifically disliked me. But I feel like that's a normal human reaction if you like someone. Otherwise, it's just like, I don't give a fuck, man. You can dislike me as long as you're not trying to get me financially ruined. Like, you do you, baby. That's completely fucking fine. I'd prefer if people disliked me for real reasons instead of making shit up to hate me for. It's very frustrating when they hate me based on lies. She loves us. She really loves us. Yeah, this shouldn't be allowed in the VTuber community. And that reminds me, I did want to bring up, because Azehara actually had like a really fucking good recap video here. And there was a bit from Anna that I had never heard before. So I was like, holy shit, what is this? Mama. Don't harass any of the idiots talked about in the video. True, don't harass me. I'm an idiot.
So the indie VTuber scene has been on fire for the past few months. And normally, I don't really care much about it, since it usually boils down to people airing out dirty laundry and petty drama that could probably be resolved through DM. But this time, it seems to be a little bit bigger than that, and oddly enough, I have noticed a lack of coverage from the usual VTuber news channels.
Wow, a lack of news coverage for one of the largest issues in VTubing. I wonder what would be the incentive to not cover the fact that a VTuber got baselessly attacked by Vice, a multi-million-dollar news conglomerate, and then got Vice to back down with cease and desist letters that are dolled up in a VTuber fashion. I wonder. But I'm glad for all the people who did stand up for me. Look, there's a smug Alana right there. Rev did a fucking nice video. There's a lot of people who did come to my defense, and they're wonderful fucking people.
And this is the Kirsche versus Anna Valen's Vice drama. Firstly, I want to give some context as to where all of this comes from, as it seems that every day the issue keeps growing, and a good part of the drama has been wiped off from the internet when Anna decided to delete multiple of their Twitter accounts. But the good thing is that when it comes to VTubers, many of the people that watch tend to archive many of the things that... Can I just say how funny it is? I know my hat's kind of in the way, but how funny it is that Azehara has like that deep mud hut voice, and it's coming out of like a fucking Shota. Said in case they get deleted. So I want to have this video around not only to document what has happened in the past month or so, but also to respond to a video Anna made talking about the entire issue, and maybe offer some general advice, not just to Anna, but to anyone else looking from the sidelines. Now, disclaimer, I have been aware of Anna since back in 2020, and I know that they are the type of quote-unquote journalist that doesn't really have ethical standards. And
true,
what do I mean
they
with
do not.
I'm basically talking about the 4 ethical standards outlined in the Society of Professional Journalists, also known...
I think this is the first time I even knew that there were a Society of Professional Journalists. Like, I didn't know that there was a journalism code of ethics, and the fact that this is actually surprising to me, I think should be surprising in and of itself. Because that kind of shows you just how shitty journalists have become, if finding out they have a code of ethics is surprising. Holy fuck.
Known as the SPJ Code of Ethics. And these are seeking the truth and reporting it, minimizing harm, acting independently, and being accountable and transparent. All of which Anna seems to have broken in the past few months, but I would go a bit more into details later on in this video.
Oh. I don't know if you could have that artwork.
For those that may be out of the loop, and to give some context on where it all started, this all began back in March 25th, 2024, when the so-called journalist Anna Valen showed up in VLUR's Twitter audition announcement post, asking for them to clarify if they meant for cis women when they said they were...
And this was the thing, right? I'm gonna just like pause at a better place here.
Audition announcement post.
This was the thing that I kept bringing up. Like, Anna not only asked, right, if trans girls were allowed to apply multiple times on Twitter, but they also asked when all of the VLR girls got together for a stream about the new auditions. And then tried to pretend like, oh, I didn't even want to join in the first place. I was just curious. Like, okay, all right, okay, yeah, okay.
Asking for them to clarify if they meant for cis women when they said they were only looking to hire females. Normally, that would seem like a valid question, but people who are aware of Anna will know that the question was probably made in bad faith and with the intent of creating more drama. Back in 2024, Vialure never really replied to the question.
Source I was
now,
right.
Fast forward to April 1, 2025. It's been a little more than a year, and Vialure already had a successful first wave of talents, and they were opening up their new additions for a new wave. The talents all got together to talk about the additions, maybe give some pointers, and they also mentioned frequently asked questions, and they addressed the female issue.
We are looking for female talents. Oh, but what if I'm... Shh! Shut the fuck up! You go by female pronouns. You live life as a woman. Do you sound like a woman? Okay, we don't care about anything else. You're free to apply, ho.
Anna decided to then write their magnum opus, basically a hit piece directly targeted at Vialure to paint them in a bad light because Anna did not like the answer to their female question. By all accounts, this was a terrible article, which got clowned on by multiple other VTubers on Twitter. Not only that, but some of the VTubers who cover drama went over the hit piece and how bad it was. I'm mostly talking about my favorite horse girl, Rima, and Elara. While both of these streamers were live discussing the hit piece, Anna showed up to their chats and they tried to hijack the whole conversation, fishing for attention, and they tried to shift the entire conversation in their favor. On April 4th, Kirsche decided to talk about the article and how bad it was. At the same time, Kirsche decided to shine a little light on Anna and who they were.
Anna is, in fact, a weird trans lol cow VTuber. That's, that actually is what they are. Apparently people have been, documenting Anna for quite a while now for doing lots of weird shit, which we'll get into in a second.
Back then, Kirsche had already been dealing with some mentally ill individuals for about a month that had been trying to cancel her due to her merchandise drop from GamerSubs. And the main people involved in this were Kirsche's top unemployed VTuber fan and Binted, and the totally not jealous German fish, Nyara. Both of whom were constantly trying to employ different methods of bad faith, lying, and guilt by association to go after her for basically not having the right opinions. All of this added to the fact that Anna often has a chip on their shoulder whenever someone talks about them. It seems that they found their new target to smear. On April 21, a new hit piece...
You've never seen that tweet? It wasn't a tweet, it was from their Discord.
Dropped as Kirsche had left for a one-week vacation, and as her GamerSubs merchandise drop had already come to a close. This is a merchandise drop that led to her reaching 62% of the goal to getting a flavor. For Kirsche's size, this is basically huge.
It was huge, it was massive.
She managed to sell over $140,000 worth of merch, which means that GamerSubs earned probably twice or three times that amount. And
that's true. We do not know the number that GamerSubs has earned, and I probably wouldn't be able to find out even if I asked.
Price of no one, the so-called article was, again, poorly written and poorly sourced. This included random quotes from users in Reddit that had never watched a Kirsche stream. Many of the claims also that were used to discredit Kirsche came from Binted, her top unemployed Twitter fan. The entire article is full of instances of guilt by association and trying to paint Kirsche in the worst way possible as a way to try to create pressure in the hopes that the company would drop her. This is something that Anna later mentioned in another podcast when they referred to the whole hit piece as the GamerSubs article.
I think this is one of the reasons why the GamerSubs article blew up.
So far, GamerSubs hasn't really said anything on the issue, and I don't really expect them to, as they often hardly ever comment on drama.
He's
now, in April 29, once Kirsche returned from her vacation, she decided to have a stream going over Anna's absurd hit piece and some of the things that her haters have been saying on Twitter.
So that's how disingenuous this scum has been. This little fucking snake. Although, I think I'll give it a break for a bit after this. This one was the second biggest story of my career. First being my public piece. Pretty fucking crazy. That's actually pretty fucking sad. If a poorly researched, actually, I can't even say that wasn't researched at all, hit piece on a minor VTuber is the second biggest story of your fucking career.
Of course, Anna did not like
Truly
this. On May 8th,
sad.
Anna wrote another hit piece, mainly focusing on Kirsche's and Vialure's community and all the hate comments that Anna had gotten following the two hit pieces. And again, the article starts off focusing on Kirsche and her sponsorship with GamerSubs, and it highlights random Reddit and 8chan posts that are hating on Anna, because of course, it's 8chan, and they hate everyone. It also features some quotes from the TVA website, which is a website that focuses on documenting and highlighting different posts, events, and different things that happen related to VTubers. Of course, one of the things that have been highlighted in this website was Anna's
shaken martini.
True. And one of those posts that Anna referenced was a post that I made back in April 2024 when I first reacted to seeing Anna Valen's name pop up in Vialure's Twitter. On May 12, 2025, and after multiple days of Anna harassing people on Blue Sky by tagging other so-called journalists and websites by trying to...
So-called journalists, by the way. Yeah, who do they... Yeah, this is where they tagged Nathan Grayson because they were trying to make this like a new fucking Gamergate. I think it's nuts that the right-wing side of VTubing is trying to turn this into a culture war thing. Like, the VTuber in question is just flat out making incredibly racist jokes. Well, they're just jokes! Jokes do not mean you are racist, and I include everyone in my repertoire, not just white people. So, you know, it's like, everyone is included. It's inclusive. I am unironically an inclusive VTuber. Way to go. Way to go. Welcome. And also, you're the one who started the culture war thing, you fucking freak. Get out. Aftermath site, IGN? Why the fuck would IGN report on me? Polygon? The Verge? Jezebel, dude? Oh yeah, I remember them tagging Alyssa Mercante.
Make this issue bigger than what it was. Another Vice writer, I believe who was Anna's editor at the time, came up with a third hit piece trying to defend Anna, while at the same time painting Kirsche in a negative light, based on the things some of her followers had said and done on social media. At all points, Kirsche has mentioned that she doesn't want anyone to harass Anna, but of course, this didn't stop Vice from publishing hit pieces, basically accusing her of sending her followers to harass Anna. And this magnificent article again included fabricated hate DMs on Reddit, somehow leaflets, thumbnails, reacting to another YouTube video, and all this was done to show
And
that...
they cropped my Sam Hyde quote being eternal thing, because that happened months before I even knew who the fuck Anna was. But they wanted to use that to say, oh, I'm being harassing.
Poor Anna had done nothing wrong, and they were just getting attacked for simply asking quote-unquote questions. Finally, on May 13, Kirsche had someone tape a strongly worded document threatening Vice with possibly taking legal action if this continued, as she already had lost a sponsor.
Manya!
Then shortly after...
I still love how Vice's offices look like a fucking crack den. Holy shit.
14th, Vice decided to take down the 3 hit pieces, but the other so-called news websites were still trying to publish articles to get Kirsche cancelled and deplatformed. After deleting their Twitter and retweeting to Blue Sky, Anna decided to stream on Twitch and talk about a few things, mainly the disappointment of how things had turned out. The video was featured as a highlight in their channel, but when Anna got banned from Twitch...
Oh no! What happened? What happened? Oh no, how terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
Yeah, imagine retweeting a bunch of people who were trying to brigade to get my channel taken down for reading your content that you do worse of on your own channel and expecting nothing to happen. That's crazy. It was just like, when I woke up and saw that Anna also got banned, I was like, oh, well, you know, at least Twitch is applying things evenly now. At least it wasn't just me being hate brigaded and they realized, oh, this fucking person's also too grody to leave up on our website.
Most of their videos and those highlights went down, but luckily someone re-uploaded a copy of it to YouTube. And now I will address some of the things that were mentioned.
And this is the part I really wanted to hear. Because Anna said some fucking crazy
I can kind of see where
shit.
things are going. After I deactivated my Twitter, it was like a feeding frenzy all over the internet. Like anywhere I posted, like people are showing up. Subreddits and stuff that I'll post and people show up. You know, I've had it happen in just random comments. People come in, downvoting random stuff. My AO3 I got someone like leaving a negative comment. So in this case, it's just like,
Oh no. Mean comments. Wow. Didn't care when you were writing articles on Vice about the mean comments that I would necessarily get, because I'm sure in your opinion I deserved them for being evil Nazi.
like I see which way the wind's blowing. I know that whatever's happening now is probably gonna blow up into something bigger, and I don't want to be in the center of that. So I'm just.
You are the center. You fucking caused it, you freak.
Just going to be off social media.
The only way this is all going to blow over into something bigger is if you make it into something bigger, which you seem to be doing by creating this simple video. You attacked another content creator, you tried to get them deplatformed, and you tried to get their sponsors to cancel them. This is all your fault.
I know a lot of folks have opinions about those things, and I encourage you to express your opinion and to kind of like speak truth to your political feelings and beliefs and how you feel about the matter. I encourage you to speak out. You know, I've always been someone who's an advocate for that, and I know a lot of people feel very strongly about me right now. So I encourage you, you know, if you are feeling very strongly about everything at the moment, no matter what's happening, to, you know, speak up and speak out. I just do encourage you to do so in measured ways and considerate ways. Please understand, right, that there's a lot of eyeballs on everything around this right now. So please, please, please be respectful and considerate and measured in what you say, okay?
What if I had done that? Do you think if I had said, yeah, guys, these people are attacking me and you should respond in kind, you know, be measured, be nice about it, but definitely make your voices heard. In fact, I encourage you to make your voices heard. Do you think that I would have even been able to get through the rest of my stream without having those clips spread around both Twitter and Blue Sky, being like, look at this evil right-wing VTuber encouraging her community to harass marginalized trans people? Ain't no way. That shit would have been up within the hour. Within the half an hour. They found the one time I ever interacted with Synthetic Man in less than an hour and started trying to use that to paint me as a Nazi. Like, even though there's months of documented harassment from his community, which is now continuing because for some reason they want to paint me as a pedophile because I guess they really hate the fact that Synthetic Man talked to a woman. I don't really understand. You know, these weird freaks, whenever they talk about how much I supposedly love Shadman, always leave out the fact that I didn't know back in like 2018 or whenever the fuck I made those tweets. I didn't know that he had made art of like actual fucking minors. And then when my community told me about it and I saw the fucking posts from Null, I was like, oh, yeah, that is kind of disgusting and disingenuous. But that's always left out because these seething freaks on the Kiwi farms are also the same kind of people on Twitter who will brigade and try to do something to harm someone. And that's not to say that everyone on Kiwi Farms is a seething freak, because there are some really great fucking archiving autists. There are great people there that I still think do good jobs. But there's a section of people, and there's always going to be a section of people everywhere. You can't have 100% good apples. There's always going to be a couple of bad ones. They don't know. Kirsche is clearly a 7-foot-tall black man with a massive schlong. True and real. True and real. Jim said he'd like to have me on when he streams about this. Yeah, I did quote retweet him, but his DMs are closed, so I have to wait for him to initiate the DM. Some right-wingers think anime and VTubers are the devil. And it's like, you're entitled to that opinion, right? You're entitled to, like, hate anime if you really want to be an anime racist, but, like, even Null has had to walk back before when he called me a pedophile. So, like, I'd be careful. Watch out, Kirsche. Getting pretty close to the very good people. Even Orange Man can't dodge that smear campaign. It's like, there's no smear campaign to dodge. I've defended Kiwi Farms for years, man. Like, my opinions have not changed. There's definitely more people that are, like, fucking weird shit cunts, for sure. But, like, you can't do anything about that. Summer is here, friends. I guess you're going on the farms. Matt Walsh hates anime. He does. He does hate anime. Jim is operating on Pippa rules. Check your DMs, Jim. I can't DM him. His DMs are closed. And Boop the Snoot. Can't wait for Kirsche's guest segment on Lotus Eaters. Oh my god. Didn't he call me a pedo again? No? Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. I know Medicare's archiver is calling me a pedophile, because, again, like, these people don't operate on the truth. They operate on, like, the same kind of feelings that the seething lefty Twitter freaks do. You posted the Medicare clip recently. Thank you, moderator Marcy. Thank you, Alto Minnow! Alto Minnow, that's fucking massive, dude. Thank you for the 300 slaves, my guy. Thank you, thank you. That's fucking massive, dude. Fucking massive. These grievance grifters really do just rove around everywhere and anywhere looking for a crack or weak spot in a community that they can exploit and leverage to gain power for themselves, don't they? So slimy! Thank you for helping you realize this is what's been happening. You do good work. You're welcome. I try my best. I try my best. Why are so many editors and mods such strange, slimy people? Because it's very difficult to put time into something and be mentally stable, I suppose. I'm very glad that the kind of autists I have are like the archivists of old. They have sanity. And Kirsche said she'd appear on Lotus Eaters in hijab if asked. I mean, if I have to. Foxy News is the most trusted news. It's very based. Good, there's a better Medicare archivers. I mean, I don't need the archive. I watch him live. The last stream I did fall asleep. I did pass the fuck out, man.
It's funny you mentioned that there are many eyeballs on this, when you yourself are the one that caused all of the eyeballs to pay attention to what was happening. No one really knew who you were. I mean, some people did. I knew who you were, sadly. But by you creating the headpiece, and by you trying to first attack an agency and then trying to attack a content creator, you created this monster. So you should stop trying to encourage people to do anything. Every time people were encouraged by you speaking out about Kirsche, they all seem to have gotten burned. This failed at such a catastrophic level that the only thing I can compare it to is the Hogwarts Legacy boycott, where a bunch of mentally ill Twitter freaks decided to harass VTubers, and, well, all they did in trying to boycott the game was make it even more popular.
The harassment I'm experiencing is something that is a larger internet issue, okay? It's about being transgender on the internet, it's about being marginalized on the internet, right? It's about also, you know, the nature of, you know, when there's a class.
Once again, the autogynephiliac tries to hide behind an identity shield. If you were just a normal transgender person, nobody would fucking care. But at this point, with how much shit that you've put out there, I don't think anybody believes that you actually are trans. And you were just trying to use it to avoid criticism and to get people to stop talking about you.
Between two people on very, very, very polar opposite sides of the political spectrum.
And that, of course, is another lie. You're lying because even Kirsche has trans people in her audience, so this is not about being trans, this is not about people attacking your gender identity, this is people attacking you for what you have done. Don't try to hide under or behind your gender identity when the problem has nothing to do with that.
There is no one out there who speaks for me, whether it's about any of these issues, and if someone claims to be speaking on my behalf, then they're wrong.
There's nobody who speaks for you, and if they claim to be speaking on your behalf, they're wrong, yet you had a social media team, apparently. And also, you're encouraging people to speak up and speak out if they want you back on the internet. Very, very interesting weasel wording there, Mr. Sir.
Yeah, of course. But when Kirsch's audience did something, you immediately try to pin it on Kirsch.
That
So
too.
when you are telling people that your audience does not speak for you or no one speaks for you, then why are you going after Kirsch for things that people in her audience have said or done? You're not really using the same standards on yourself that you are using on another content creator.
Saying awful and harassing things about me. I've seen really just like, I'm very used to that kind of stuff happening, but since Thursday, it's been a little insane. Like I've never had it this bad where it's like, you know, maybe I'll like read through a Reddit thread and I'm just seeing like someone's written like AO3 fan fiction of me as like a true villain. And it's just,
As a true villain. They wrote AO3 fan fiction of you as a villain. Oh, I'm so sad. It's almost like I had freaks on your side of the aisle writing fan fiction about raping me. For the sole fact of like trying to get me and other VTubers who had been sexually assaulted to feel bad. Man, that's crazy that someone wrote a fan fiction about you as a villain. How terrible.
it's, I believe, getting dangerous because the rhetoric is starting to get in a direction where, you know, people are getting very, like, there's a clear feeling of violence coming out through the words on the screens.
A clear feeling of violence. Almost like I had actual threats of violence that I contacted my police over, and now I'm no longer at home. Wow. Wow, that's crazy that you live in such a fantasy land.
You are imagining the violence because you want to paint yourself as a victim. If you
True.
had not started shit, people would not be going after you and harassing you.
I know a lot of people have very strong feelings and feel really upset that I'm going to be off social media. And here's what I do have to stress, which is you do have to speak up. You're gonna have to. What's happening is
so it's not if you want to anymore. It's not if you feel strongly about the situation. It's you have to speak up now. You have to go and bully this biological woman because I don't like the things she says. All right, okay, you fucking skinwalker.
I'm gonna go away by saying this sucks and I'm sorry.
No, Anna, you don't have to speak up. You have to shut up and stay quiet. If
Yes.
you speak up, you're adding more fuel to the fire.
Yes.
It is a situation where you're gonna have to speak up. I'm not saying that folks should put themselves in harm's way or put themselves in the fray, but I appreciate the kind words. But this is about someone actually being targeted by a harassment campaign, and one of the only ways.
Yeah, true. You mean me getting harassed since March? Holy fuck. Organized harassment campaigns get most creators deplatformed. Why is she the exception? They're just mad that their hate and harassment campaign didn't see me broke and run off the internet. That is why they are angry. They did not have the desired effect.
To stop that harassment is to actively stand up to it and say, you know, not allowed in our space, not allowed in our community. What are you doing here? This isn't appropriate.
There's no such thing as a common VTuber space. Kirsche has
Correct.
her audience, Kirsche has her space. You have your audience, you have your space. And at no point did both communities or both spaces overlap until you started
Correct.
to make it your own business and trying to go into another person's space by trying to get them canceled. And don't try to get other journalists or people to fight your own fight because, again, this is a problem that you created.
If you're upset that I have to take this time for myself, that I've been, you know, pushed, bullied, harassed out, you are going to have to do something if you want me back. 'Cause
You're gonna have to do something if you want me back. Look at this emotional manipulation, man. That's crazy.
Can't go back if this is the climate now. You know, if everywhere I post on the internet is just gonna be people yelling at me all the time, I'm not gonna be able to be on the internet.
Have you thought about not starting
If you
shit?
can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. Again, this is a problem you yourself started, and this is a problem that it's going to follow you even if you try to hide. And at no point have these content creators called for help or have called for people to defend them, yet here you are trying to do that. You're the one causing harassment, you're the one inciting harassment, you're the one creating a problem. Kirsche and the Viewer girls have had to deal with harassment, and they are still streaming, they are still posting on social media, yet you're the one that caused the whole problem is now crying and hiding.
Like, you are gonna have to alert communities that you're in, Discords that you're in, people that you know, say, hey, this fucked up thing is going on, it sucks. Like, this has to be a call to action, it has to motivate you to do something. 'Cause
This has to be a call to action. Again, can you imagine if I had said something similar? If I had said, look, these people at Vice are harassing me. You guys have to do something. I am calling for a call to action on my defense because these people are harassing me. Like, I've said I've appreciated the people who have defended me and been, like, you know, cordial about it because I'm not used to that. I'm not used to people talking well about me in other places. I'm used to being overtly hated almost fucking everywhere outside of my own little space. So it was very nice for me to see how much defense I actually had. But if I had ever overtly called for it, if I had ever, like, overtly said, like, you guys need to do something, I would have been immediately fucking castigated, dude.
Unfortunately, you know, people all the time, they, you know, like, oh, slacktivism, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, there's a lot of cases where slacktivism does nothing. But the online realm, when it comes to like these online sort of issues popping up, especially when someone is dealing with like very clearly like discriminatory harassment and abuse based on like their gender identity, you do have to speak up. Like, you do have to do something. Like, you do have to warn people and let people know.
No, you don't have to do anything, Anna. People should stay in their own lane. And when people stay in their own lane, nothing bad really happens. It's not that common for people to go out of the way and harass another community or another content creator. So stop encouraging other people, stop asking people to engage in activism when it comes to...
The only time you made a call to action is to buy more gamer subs. That's true! And you can buy more gamer subs using code Kirsche for 10% off your order to support your local fox woman. Thank you!
VTubing. Stay in your lane and nothing bad will happen, which is something you did not do.
I'm really not the type to be like, I'm sorry, but like, you're gonna have to do something. But I'm a journalist, okay? Like, if I can't be on Blue Sky and Twitter because of this stuff, someone with like 5 followers who gets caught up in like a hate mob like this is absolutely not going to. So you are gonna have to speak up and do something.
Jesus Christ.
You're encouraging the person with no following to get basically into activism and to fight the fights for you when they themselves don't really have a platform. You're the one.
Pro tip, random indies don't start shit or try to be a VTuber activist pushing to cancel a larger content creator, or you will end up canceling yourself. And that's pretty much exactly what's happened every single time. Pretty much every single time. Anytime a creator came out and tried to like fucking force GamerSupps' hand or say some shit about me based on all of the lies being told, they immediately just got fucking bombarded. Like, it's not a good idea. If you're going to crusade against someone, at least make sure you're operating on correct fucking information, right? And like, leave the sponsors alone. I don't care how much you dislike what the other person said. Going after their financials is never a fucking good look. Especially if you're gonna be like one of those content creators that's incredibly hypocritical. And they're like, I need my contract and my code because like I need the money from the GamerSupps, but like she shouldn't have it. She should get it taken away. Like zero self-awareness.
Causing problems. Again, stop encouraging people to fight your fights for you. And there are many other journalists out there who have faced harassment and, well, they either lock their accounts or they go silent for a while. I'm not sure why you cannot do the same.
And I especially stress that to members of the media because I do see a lot of colleagues who are radio silent on this. And I understand why you don't want to get in the crosshairs, right? I respect that. But this kind of harassment is not going anywhere, and it's going to come for you under things that are not so blatantly...
Nice fear-mongering. Azehara put it right there. Fucking trying to appeal to other journalists to get in on this crusade for them. And, you know, some weird AI Indians did jump in on Anna's side, and they had to take their articles down as well. Except for Sportskita. I didn't send them a cease and desist because I feel like that Sportskita article is just a really, really good marketing piece. And hopefully when people Google me, they see that.
Political in nature.
Stop trying to get other people in the media involved. This is a you problem. So far, everyone who has written articles based around this whole story you yourself created have had to take them down because they found out or they realized that you were in the wrong. You were the one that started this problem. You were the one that started the harassment. And now you're the one that cannot end it.
It's fucking artwork, Azehara.
Really, you have not really learned anything from this. And once the heat dies down, I have a feeling that you will be back to doing the same thing that you got.
Same.
Hell,
Same.
you seem to have now switched to trying to go after Asmongold. And it's impressive how at no point you see how hypocritical your actions have been, where you constantly use tactics to try to attack someone, and when people use those same tactics against you, mainly guilt by association, you don't really seem to acknowledge it.
Yep.
You have somehow managed to violate every single one of the main points of the journalism code of ethics with your little stunt. So, seeking the truth and reporting it, well, you did not seek the truth to report it. Instead, you stirred the shit pot and tried to quote yourself a year later as some sort of proof of evidence.
I didn't see any trans VTubers complain.
Not only that, but you also lied about VLUR's statement about including trans talents. Minimizing harm. Your first VLUR hit piece was meant to ruin the reputation of a well-loved company and its talent that belong to it just because you have a problem with them not answering your question, and then because apparently the corporation did not appeal to your specific fetishes.
But because VLUR isn't like Hololive size, Vice is like, oh yeah, I can try and stick a bunch of normies against this company that I have a personal vendetta against.
And then your other hit pieces solely focused on trying to deplatform a content creator and to get their sponsors from dropping them because you don't really agree with them politically and because they made fun of your god-awful attempts at journalism. Acting independently. Well, you tried to use your position as a journalist for Vice to get other people to join your little shit crusade against a content creator. Some of them have written their own terrible articles sourcing your garbage. If you have garbage to source, the end product is even more garbage. And being accountable and transparent. At no point have you been transparent with your involvement in all this. At no point did you look to correct the lies you published. And at no point did you try to follow the same standards you used to attack another content creator. And your little audio is proof of that, where all you have done is try to run away and hide while you ask other people to do the dirty work for you and continue your little gay war. Now, not only did you fail as a journalist, but your actions have only helped harm others that got caught up in this. You have been brigading people to drop GamerSupps, so you can then use them as ammo to somehow imply that the brand is taking financial damage. Or you have been pushing people into getting so riled up that during their attempts to cancel someone, they start saying slurs on social media and they end up getting dropped by their own sponsors. Your little camp has also tried getting JoeCat to drop GamerSubs, which he was not even sponsored for, and
My contract with GamerSubs ended a while ago, and I'm in the process of removing all their branding and codes from my platforms. This is, like, whenever people bring up how JoeCat dropped GamerSubs, they bring out, like, they leave out that part, that he wasn't even contracted with them. He literally just came out to Virtue Signal. It's very interesting.
has been actively trying to get other GamerSubs partner creators to drop the brand. This includes people like Kyle, the well-known gay racist, Rin Penrose, and Heavenly Father, who called you out when you tried to
I'm very glad that at least Heavenly called Anna out, even if he still called me a Nazi.
weaponize his response. Also, this has led to additional hit pieces trying to drag other people into the mess. People like Nax and Coefficient, who are two content creators that are VTuber adjacent and mainly just react to clips, but don't really have any links to Kirsche. You have been constantly using your identity as both a weapon to attack others and as a shield to cry out when others fight back, something which only helps damage the general reputation of other trans VTubers that have nothing to do with this mess. And I have another question for you, Anna. With the way you have acted towards Velour, do you really think that they would want to pick up a trans content creator? No. You have also endorsed people who were talking about reporting Kirsche's Twitch channel because she read your erotic fanfiction.
True.
Which later then caused people to look into your own Twitch channel and for them to notice that you have been also creating not safe for work fetish content, which ended with Twitch banning your channel also, and caused you to lose the majority of your VODs and highlights. From the journalist side of things, many people that came to your defense have taken your words and just ran with them, basically just running with the lies, to the point where an ex-journalist had to come out and make a video calling out their old company, Sportskeeda, out for outright publishing lies.
True.
The fact of the
That guy
matter
was based.
Is that what this title is saying is false. It was written by Richik Bhattacharya. Let's go to the clip that we see that supposedly defends them.
Additionally, you somehow managed to get the
And the
attention-
clip that they use, this is why I didn't send a cease and desist to them. Because the clip that they use completely disproves their entire title. And I feel like that one is so on the nose that, like, if I leave it up, it's just good marketing material, man.
of two journalists, Katie Herzog and Jesse Single, who talked about this whole issue on their podcast, Plug and Reported. And they mainly focus on how terrible of a job you did as a journalist throughout this whole retarded crusade.
So this is like the classic thing for certain types of journalists where they create a controversy
Yes.
to write about it, basically,
Yes.
or it comes across that way.
Yes, it does seem that way.
You, as a tourist, decided to weaponize the so-called VTuber community to attack another content creator. And I call you a tourist because clearly you don't seem to know much about VTubing despite being a VTuber yourself.
Now, again, fair enough if you don't like lolicon content. I don't either. But one of the easiest marks of tourism that you can spot is if, one, people don't recognize the difference in lolly and lolicon, and two, they go with the whole lolicon is CP type thing, right?
You fail to realize that there's no such thing as the VTuber community for you to weaponize. You also fail to realize that whenever you try to harm a company or a content creator for personal reasons, their community will fight back, they will criticize everything you say, and they will dig up any sort of dirt they have against you. And this is something to really think about, Anna, as you have an entire dump truck of self-published dirt for people to dig through and throw back. Any
True.
hate or harassment you have gotten has been self-inflicted. At the end of the day, no one really cares that you are trans or not, and no one really cares about your weird fetishes either. But when you try to cancel other people, their fans will try to start digging for all the garbage you're guilty
Obviously.
of. By creating the Velour hit piece, you essentially created a huge dumpster fire in the middle of an empty parking lot, which got everyone to pay their attention. The same dumpster you have placed there over a year ago. And then you proceeded to spread the fire to another content creator by constantly calling them out, tagging their sponsors, and calling for others to do the same. In the process, you burned yourself and you hurt other people around you, and now you are crying over it. Just like Klaus, who had been tagging Kirsche sponsors for a
Yep.
while now. And now him trying to start shit with Asmongold, looking for attention, only for Asmongold
And
to
now him trying to call victim, and he's like, "Oh, what do you mean she's getting sponsored still? I guess it wasn't a life ruination campaign. Just because you failed didn't mean you tried or didn't try. You fucking weirdo. Holy shit."
notice him, and he's not crying that he's getting harassed because he doesn't feel safe, which is something that you are now trying to weaponize yet again. You are basically like cancer spreading around, trying to tag other news outlets to paint Asmongold as a transphobe.
Oh, he put my Fogo de Chao in the background, bro. Bro, I want to go to Fogo de Chao again. I fucking love Brazilian schmeat.
In the attempt to create a story and more drama, repeating again the same shit you did with Kirsche, in which you failed horribly. Also, so much for staying off a blue sky. It's pretty pathetic that you cannot even keep your own word.
Yep.
My advice to you would be to just either focus on your content and try to grow from that, or just simply
Stop it. Get some help.
I fucking hate journalists so fucking much. I like seethed in the work Discord about this already, so I don't quite need to get it out of my system here.
So
but
true, sister. So true. You think you hate journalists enough, but you do not. Munya.